So the last two game of week number 3 is in the books, and before I actually get into these two games, I just want to quickly say that tomorrow I'm going to do a brand new series called the Emotional Index, and the Emotional Index is going to be similar to the Expectation Index that I did just a couple of days before the season began, where, for the Emotional Index, I'll basically put every 27 team in MLS right now and put them on this emotional index, and basically I'm going to see how each fan base are feeling about their team after we have now played 3 weeks into the MLS season. But in terms of this video, we're going to look at both of these games, and we'll start off with one of the more anticipated game of this week between the Seattle Sounders versus the Galaxy. And there's no doubt that this was probably the biggest test for the Galaxy, knowing the fact that, they're the only team to win their first two games, and there was question whether or not if they are actually for real, and are we, of course, going seeing the old Galaxy that we used to know of. Well, the answer to that question is no. We're still not at that point where the Galaxy are truly back, and that they are considered themselves once again an MLS Cup contender. But one thing that I think we did learn from this game is that the Sounders are still considered an MLS Cup contender, and I think that not only the fact that they're happy that they got the win in this game, but they also are happy that there's a specific player on that attack is able to make his return in this game. Now, in the first half, and the first thing I actually forgot to mention here on the board is that the Sounders was wearing their Jimi Hendrix jersey, and honestly, I really love the Jimi Hendrix jersey that the Sounders, of course, are wearing, and it looks even better on TV and also when the players are wearing it, and that is definitely a jersey that is on my long list of wish list that I want to get before the end of this season. But for the first 10 minutes of this game, there were a couple of half chances between both of these teams, but it was the Sounders that gets the opening goal. It's Raul Ruidiaz scoring from Brad Smith to get the Sounders a 1-0 lead. Before 4 minutes later, Smith, who was on the assist chart of the last goal, feels like he wants to get in the goal scoring action, so he scores to make it 2-0 in favor of the Galaxy. Jonathan Bond did save this one originally, but he did allow a big rebound, although I will kind of fault the fact that the Galaxy defense did not do a good job in terms of clearing that ball away, and that I think maybe that is probably the bigger mistake than what Bond basically allowed a big rebound to basically have Smith to put that one away. But that being said, you can also credit Brad Smith was very heads up there and basically was the first one to gather that rebound and puts it into the back of the net. But just like that, it's 2-0 in favor of the Sounders. Then Fried denied Efrain Alvarez from close range as the Galaxy was looking to try to get one back. The Sounders, I thought they were controlling this game up to that point, and that they had a chance to make it 3-0 in the 36th minute when Bond was able to deny Kellen Rowe from long range, but we had to halftime with the Sounders leading 2-0 in this game. Now in the second half, the Galaxy did show some pushback, and Chicharito, the story coming into this game with him scoring 5 goals in 2 games, can he continue that hot streak heading into this one? Well, the answer to that question is unfortunately no, because he was relatively quiet in this game, although he did have that one big chance in the 51st minute when he just dragged a shot that went wide a little bit. And if that actually went in, not only the fact that the headlines is going to be up again, that Chicharito, of course, score another big goal and push the tally to now 6 goals in the last 3 games, but that might have give a chance for the Galaxy to get back into the game. And again, the Galaxy, they were pressing for, well, actually, they weren't pressing for the equalizer, but more to just press to get that goal back, to get back into this game. But unfortunately, the Sounders kind of saw that the Galaxy was trying to push for a goal back, and they saw the pushback, and they immediately realized that, yeah, we better put our foot to the pedal and start to get into fourth gear for the last 30 minutes of the game, because in the 57th minute, Kellen Rowe just dragged a shot that was wide from close range, and this is where the Sounders started to take the control back to this game. Brad Smith had a chance for his second goal, but unfortunately he dragged a shot that was wide from about 20 yards out. Then Nico Lodeiro in the 64th minute was summoned into this game, and he of course comes in for the first time this season for the Sounders, so obviously that's another big question that's been answered for this match of the fact that whether or not if Nico Ladero was going to be playing in this game, and is he going to start in this game, or is he going to be on the bench? Well, it seems like he was on the bench in this game, but he did able to come off the bench in the 64th minute. And if you're the Galaxy, yeah, that's probably the last man you want to see to, of course, come on for the Sounders. But and that it seemed like when Ladero does come into this game, I kind of had a feeling that, also with the way that the Sounders was kind of controlling the game, this one was pretty much over for the Galaxy. But in the 72nd minute, there was another chance to make it 3-0, but Jonathan Bond was able to deny Rodon as Seattle was looking to finish this game. Then Bond would deny Ladero, who tried to do a little curler, but unfortunately Bond was able to save it. But then on the follow-up, after the Sounders kind of recycled the play there, and the Galaxy didn't do a good job in terms of clearing the ball away. Leva, who also is the Sounders player that comes back into this team after he's been out for over a year because of a torn ACL. Well, he almost scored his first goal since returning from that injury, but that was also saved by Jonathan Bond, who I thought he had a good game in this one. I know he did concede 3 goals in this one, and that's most of these goals that he conceded, there wasn't really much that he can, of course, do, but he did, of course, made some decent save in this one. And I think he has also started to show that maybe he's actually a little bit better than what David Bingham was last season, and certainly he has already shown this season that he is a very decent shot stopper. But in the 80th minute, we had a double post moment where Kellen Rowe was trying to basically hit this one in, but unfortunately his header was hit the top part of the post, and then it bounced off to the right side of the post. And although it was not really a peak Abdul Salam moment where, Abdul Salam, if you remember that double post moment in that playoff game between the Timbers and Sporting KC, Abdul Salam actually hit both the left and right side of the post, and in this moment it wasn't the same, with Rowe kind of hit the top part of the crossbar, and then it basically bounced back to the right side of the post. But nevertheless, it still kind of is a double post moment, and honestly, anytime when that happened, I was going to make some reference in terms of what happened in 2015. And I think somewhere Abdul Salam that is sitting in Columbus that is watching this game, he's probably welcoming Kellen Rowe to join the double post club, and also somewhere in Portland they probably are also smiling, and it just gives a good memories in terms of what happened in 2015. Although if you're a Sporting KC fan and you're watching that happen, yeah, that definitely does bring back bad memories. And I'm kind of surprised that neither John Strong or Stu Holden actually even mentioned anything about that double post moment back in 2015, because as soon as I saw that, I thought immediately either of those commentators is going to talk about something about that 2015 playoff game, but they kind of never mentioned it, and in the end they just kind of said that was kind of a double doink, and in some way Jonathan Bond must be kissing the soccer gods and also kissing both sides of the post, the fact that it helped him out there. But unfortunately, he would eventually concede the third goal right into stoppage time, as Raul Ruidiaz once again show why he is considered one of the most lethal striker in the league, as he gets his brace in the 93rd minute as he scored from Madron and Nuhu to make it 3-0 in favor of the Sounders, and that would be the final score of this game. As the shots in this game, 17 shots compared to 10 that the Galaxy had, 9 shots on goal compared to 2 that the Galaxy had, 4 shots off target compared to 5 that the Galaxy had, 4 shots that was blocked compared to 3 that the Galaxy had, and possession-wise, 47% possession compared to 53% possession that the Galaxy had. And, for the Sounders, this was kind of vintage Sounders performance where they absolutely dominated this game against the Galaxy, where, again, I don't think they're there yet in terms of their road, in terms of getting themselves back into playoff contender. I mean, there were some signs in the first 2 games that of course is the case, but this is definitely a reality check where there's still some problem in terms of this team, and I think the one of the biggest problem that they're gonna have to eventually address is the defense, because the defense in this game, I already said in the first 2 games, even though they of course won both of those games, their defense was still very poor and also gave up up 4 goals in those 2 games. And when you do face against a very tough team and a team that has a very good attack like the Seattle Sounders, you just cannot not afford to have a very shaky defense. And I guess the Galaxy basically found that out tonight after this game against the Sounders. But now moving on into the last game of week number 3, which is the Whitecaps taking on the Rapids. And this was kind of an interesting game because I thought this game was relatively even between both of these teams, and there was definitely chances for both of these teams to score more than the 1 goal that we saw in this game. There was also a couple of controversial calls, which we'll of course get to, but in the end, it was a moment of magic from Diego Rubio in the first half. That was the difference between both of these teams. But 3 minutes into this game, Crépeau has to be called upon as he was able to deny Shinyashiki there. Crépeau was very busy tonight, and I thought he had a decent game in this one. And I'll talk about later on the goal that he conceded to Diego Rubio. Yeah, he pretty much had no chance in terms of saving that one. Colorado, I thought they started out as the better side in the first 10 minutes as Crépeau had to make another save in the 13th minute, and again he had to deny Shinyashiki, and this was very similar to the first save that he had to make where Shinyashiki was trying to shoot from the right side, but Crépeau was there to deny him there. Then Shinyashiki missed a free header in the back post in the 20th minute, and again, the Rapids, they were definitely the better side early on this game. But then in the 21st minute, Vancouver almost scored against the run of play. And, this was actually a big mistake from William Yarbrough where he basically had a JT Marcinkowski moment, passed it straight into the path of Caicedo. And Caicedo just aren't able to find a way to put that one into the empty net. And yeah, Yarbrough really got away with that mistake, and that if that goal would have went in, that would have been completely against the run of plays of how this game has gone. Now, eventually the Rapids, of course, did get that opening goal, and as I said, it was a moment of magic for Diego Rubio to basically strike that free kick about 27 yards out, where he puts it in the perfect position where no goalkeeper in the world is going to save it. Top left corner, even bangs off the post and goes it into the back of the net. And just like that, the Rapids, of course, get a 1-0 lead, and also Rubio basically submit his latest clip of what should be a long list of goals that is going to be in contention for goal of the week again for week number 3. Now, in the 26th minute, this is where the first of 2 controversial calls happened in this game, where VAR says that Cavallini, who looked like he actually put his hands in the face of Rosenberry, but VAR basically said that there was nothing in that too worthy of Cavallini to potentially get a red card. But when I look on the replay a couple of times, I feel like Cavallini is very lucky the fact that he is still on the pitch for the rest of this game, because anytime I talk about hands to the face policy, and this is kind of something that I think MLS is gonna have to be much harsher when enforcing this rule, because I've seen before where times when players put their hands in the opposition face, they usually either don't call it or maybe just let the player that committed that offense only a yellow card. And here we go again, a situation where I thought Cavallini clearly intentionally trying to put his hands in the face of Rosenberry and fouling him there. And if the league was actually serious about this hands to the face policy that they've been preaching for these past couple of seasons, then this clearly should have been a red card. And I thought when they of course gone to VAR to check on this, I thought for sure that this was going to be one of those moments where they're going to probably overturn it and just produce the red card. But that of course was not the case. They of course stay with their original decision. But again, I think Cavallini is very lucky the fact that he did not get sent off in this game, and the Whitecaps are very lucky to still have 11 men on the pitch up to that point. Now, in the 40th minute, Yarbrough was able to deny Dahomey on the header, as the Whitecaps did try to push for an equalizer late in this first half. But heading into the second half, there was some coming together between both teams in the 46th minute, before Barrios, 5 minutes later, tried to curl one in, but missed high off the net. Yarbrough then robbed Veselinovic on the header, as the Whitecaps, I thought in the second half, they were very dangerous on the set piece and almost tried to Colorado a taste of their own medicine, because we know the Rapids are one of the most lethal team in terms of set pieces and especially from the corner. Rose in the 62nd minute had a crucial block that was able to deny Rubio, who was trying to put it into the empty net, but Rose was able to have a crucial block to basically keep this game at 1-0. Before on the other end, just 3 minutes later, Dahomey had a free header that, of course, was missed high. And up until that point, I also wrote the next goal is really up for grabs in this. And actually, I don't know why I said the next goal is up for goal. That actually doesn't even make any sense. But, it was really up for grabs with the way that there was definitely chances going for both of these teams, and that, I know it might sound like a cliche, the fact that the next goal is really important in this game, but it really is. I mean, this could either be a 2-0 lead for the Rapids, where they probably would seal this game in, or Vancouver would have tied this game up, and we would have set a frantic finish in this last 20 minutes of the game. Crépeau then denied Lewis from close range in the 72nd minute, before we had the second controversial call of the night, where there was no penalty awarded to the Whitecaps after VAR deemed that Alexandra kind of initiate the contact from Acosta. And I'll tell you what, when I look on the replay of this, it is really hard for me to say that they should have overturned this call, because in some way you can kind of see Alexandra kind of initiate the contact from Acosta, and that he kind of pulled Acosta down as he went down in the box. But at the same time, there's also some angles that I saw where it clearly looked like Acosta was the one that pulled Alexandra down in the box. But either way, at the end, they still decided to overturn the call. And this is also another one where I don't think VAR got that one right, with the way that looks just too close for me, and just too inconclusive for me to say that they should, of course, overturn this. So yeah, it's a tough luck for the Whitecaps in that moment. But I guess, if there is one thing that VAR kind of wasn't consistent in this game, is that at least it was consistent in terms of giving teams a break here, because early on, when there was a VAR call that was that kind of helped the Whitecaps, and especially helped Lucas Cavallini, for him to stay on the pitch and not get a red card. Well, they pretty much got a little bit of a payback in this moment, where a penalty that probably should have been given, but unfortunately they're not going to catch the break here. And in other words, if you want to kind of summarize that in kind of a cliche, and also kind of a saying, I guess that's a classic example of VAR given and VAR taken. But after that, the Whitecaps were really pushing to try to get the equalizer, but Colorado did have a chance to end it in the 4th minute of stoppage time, when Crépeau was able to deny Lewis, who went through on goal. But in the end, Colorado was able to hang on to win 1-0 in this one. And the shots in this one, 16 shots compared to 9 that the Whitecaps had. 6 shots on goal compared to 4 that the Whitecaps had. 6 shots off target compared to 3 that Vancouver has. 2 shots that was blocked compared to 4 that Colorado has. And possession-wise, 57% possession compared to 43% possession that the Rapids had in this game. But either way, this was a huge victory for the Rapids, and certainly a bounce back win after that embarrassing result that they had last week at home against Austin FC. But for the Vancouver Whitecaps, this is definitely a harsh reality check that clearly this team is not there in terms of a team that could potentially compete for some of those playoff spots out of the West. Now, I know that kind of sounds a little bit harsh for me, because this seems like this is probably the worst performance that they had. But, after these first 2 games, with the way that they definitely seems to punch above their weight and getting some result that I definitely did not expect, this seems like it's kind of a reality check where, yeah, there's still maybe 1 or 2 pieces away, or maybe just a tier below, where they could be really consider themselves to be a playoff contender heading in the Western Conference. But yeah, there you have it. That is pretty much it for the review of both of these games. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of both of these games? And again, with all these games being done, tomorrow I of course will be doing my emotional index, where I'm going to look at how every team fan base does feel about their team after we play 3 week into the MLS season. But yeah, until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of both of these games. And yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.